Hey, good morning, church. This is Brother Brett. Just wanted to say good morning and hope that your day is going well. Hope that you're finding things to do and staying busy, but because I know it's crazy times that we're living in, and I know if you're like me, you kind of get fed up of hearing about all the different things. But I just wanted to remind you who's in control, and just wanted to provide some encouragement to you today recently, because I'm watching things on Disney Plus and everything that I can do. I have made the commitment to go back and see all of the Avengers movies, and so one of the movies that's in the Avenger series is the Avengers Infinity War. And if you remember, if you've seen that movie or what, it's kind of a little different ending of most movies that we're accustomed to, because most of that movie is, the Avengers are trying to prevent the bad guy from basically wiping out half the population on the earth. And unfortunately, in the movie, which a lot of people are always looking for a happy ending, they're not able to do that. And so they fail in their mission. And so the movie kind of ends with a real downer with that. And so, in our society, we're kind of used to the hero always winning and, always sweeps in and saves the day. And, we kind of have this Pollyanna idea sometimes that, it's always supposed to have a happy ending, and our lives are only supposed to be full of wonderful and easy things. And unfortunately, in the life of a believer, life is hard, and sometimes there are people that begin to doubt who God is whenever rough things or things that they go through, because they've been fed a lie oftentimes that says, well, if things aren't always perfect, then you must be doing something wrong, or God doesn't love you. And certainly we know all of those kinds of things are very, very true, or not true, but in times like these, a lot of times it seems like people are looking for hope everywhere that they turn around. Matter of fact, I'm going to be have the opportunity to speak to you guys on Easter, and that's going to be the subject that I'm going to be talking about. Is the resurrection brings hope, and so as us, for the believers, we should be different than the rest of the world. And I read something recently that had to do with what I do at the hospital, and with terminal illness, and the idea of how patients look at hope. And the author of that piece broke it down to two different ways that people look at hope. That a lot of times they look at conditional hope, and then versus what is true hope. And conditional hope, according to this author, only expects our preferred outcome. So basically, if we don't get our way, and then there's really not any hope, and that's really a lie. And it's just something that the world is oftentimes misled, because especially whenever you deal with terminal illness, whether we like the result or not, sometimes people don't survive cancer. Sometimes people die at a young age, or sometimes people go through tragic circumstances. And if we're not careful, we'll begin to look at those things, and we begin to blame God, or saying, well, there's really not any hope. And so this conditional kind of hope is really described as optimism without any reality factor. And so it's something that is certainly a lie, but unfortunately, in times like these, a lot of people look to that and go, well, why are we going through this? And the second thing, of course, true or real hope that he says it is grounded solely in our relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And so this kind of hope transcends physical and earthly experiences. And so, because we all understand life that we go through, it's full of good things, it's full of bad things, it's full of happy times, it's full of sad times, it's times when we're very much at peace, and there are times whenever our lives are very, very stressful. And I think the one thing that we need to be reminded in this world, there's one consistent thing that we can always put our hope in, and that hope is in God's love that never changes for us no matter what we go through. He's there to work and walk with us. Hope sustains us through any emotion, anything that we're able to go through. And so, this time will pass, and it will be one of those things that we always remember. But the reality is God's love is consistent. And he would just say, I'm here for you. No matter what you're going through, you can put your hope and your trust in me. Whenever a lot of people in our world are just looking anywhere for hope, we have that. And so I'm reminded of Sister Teresa, who spent her entire career working in India in the slums, and she was surrounded by disease and death and depression. And if you've ever read anything that Teresa wrote, you always see this joy. You always see her hope that she had in the relationship that she had with the Lord Jesus. And she's always an encouragement to me, because even in the midst of what I literally would have considered probably just the worst circumstance that anyone, she always knew where her hope was. Recently, many of us probably saw the movie that was about Mr. Rogers' life. People that are my age, I know, I grew up watching him, so I have great respect. But he made this quote, and I wanted to read it to you. It says, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" If you know me very well over the years, one thing that I've said over and over and over about the church: we need each other. God designed the church for us to help each other. So I encourage you, pick up the phone, text, Facebook, whatever you do, be an encouragement to one another. We need each other. That's why God brought us together at Journey Church, to be an encouragement to one another. And just because we don't see each other necessarily as often, we're still one body. And so I want to encourage you just to love each other, lift each other up. These are trying times, but oh, how we have the wonderful hope that God has given us. I love you, and I look forward to just continuing to dialogue. So hope you have a great day, and God bless.